This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, this is Ahman Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing. Bill, the Packer fan and Packer owner, Nick, they run a website for Packer news and updates, and I know Packer news hasn't been so great lately because we got some players that are not Packers anymore that you loved at one time, but you might hate a little bit right now.
Two great running backs. We have a competent offensive line.
He's saying that he felt in November and December that they didn't want him back.
Get a little safety in that position. Either we go.
There's no reason to believe we can't return, but.
And they already came out, a couple guys that came out said that Rodgers is telling the
solution of it, and don't let them go for anything under than one.
And you know what, Packer fans? The Bears still suck. So go Pack Go, and good luck to Bill and Nick, their website, and their Packer news. Talk to you later.
It's a lot easier to come in and skip doing mop-up duty, but he threw the ball all, he kind of looked like Aaron Rodgers the way he was throwing the ball sidearm and just flicking the ribs and the ball was just jumping out of his hands.
Agreed. Hey everybody, this is Gerhard de Beer, former Green Bay Packer offensive lineman, and you're watching Frozen Tundra Network with Bill the Packer fan and...
Well, hello there everybody, and welcome to the Frozen Tundra Network. How you doing today there, Rob?
Doing great, bro. We just laid his
Well, that'll happen there sometimes.
It happens. 420 somewhere.
Yeah, that might have had a thing to do with it.
That's awesome. Anyway, are you ready to talk some Packer football, bro?
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to talk some Packer football. We got our ass kicked. A little upset about this last week, man. We gave up 28 points in the first 25 minutes of the game.
Because it ain't bright enough in this room to pick me up.
No, hey, you're fading in and out like you're in the Matrix.
Hey, what can we say? It's a discombobulated show. The team was discombobulated the first half, and so are we.
Yeah, like it says, Ken is a ghost tonight.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Matt? Sir Rocker, what's up? 4-0 is much better than 2-2. Yes, it is. Yeah. Congrats on being 4-0. You guys have earned it. I mean, we were just about to talk about it. I mean, bro, we gave you guys 28-point spot, in the first 25 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
No kicks, no defense, no nothing. There was nothing. I mean, it's like we were just there.
Are you surprised Narvison's still on the roster?
Bro, I'm surprised, bro. I mean, I know that kick didn't count week 3 that he missed, but that's every week he's missed a kick. 4 straight weeks, bro. That's not a good sign. I don't care what kind of feeling you got from this guy.
And shit, one of them was a 37-yarder.
Yeah, Jair avoided. Yeah, Addison says hi, fucking guy. Addison had a good game, bro. That's not bad coming back playing your first game, man. Light it up 2 touchdowns. He had a good game.
Yeah,
I picked him up in fantasy league. I gotta say, he was a. Now I'm gonna beat Jamez this week playing him against him. Ken, the Vikings fan, has to shave his face again for what? Is that the bet you were telling me about? You got another bet? Nah, we're not getting swept by them, bro. That's not happening.
Hey, we seem to be doing better than the Giants there, Von Doom. But, yeah, that game was definitely rough in the second half, or in the first half. The second half, we actually saw the team come to life, and I think a lot of that has to do with Love was more comfortable putting some weight on that leg and actually being able to deliver the ball where he wanted to.
Atlanta, there's a difference.
Yeah, you get plagues from the Giants.
Oh, you just saw that pick? That was, bro, that was from was that last season?
Yeah, that was last off season.
Last off season, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit over a year old.
That's why you don't see Nick on here. He's dodging. He's dodging. He's ducking. He's welching.
But what did you think about that game, Rob?
Oh, man. I mean, the defense, it did not show up the first half. I mean, they finally came back, in the second half. The kicker, clearly an issue, and I don't understand why he's still on the roster. Like you said, I seriously thought we would have just cut him on principle. I mean, someone else could go out there and just kick right now. I mean, the punter can kick for all I care. It's got to be better than what's going on.
And yeah, Kerryon Valentine had a good game, but yeah, Valentine, he got exposed quite a bit in that first half there. But I do think Jair would have made a difference.
Yeah, and I'm not making excuses. Jair wasn't a scratch until Friday. So, I mean, they had to change everything around last second, it's not last second, but,
shorter
prep
time.
That had something to do with it,
Oh, yeah. But, hey, you got to play with who you got on the field.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Unfortunately, he wasn't there.
No, I look, I'm not making no excuses. The injury's part of the game, man. People get knocked out in the middle of the game, you're screwed. So, you got to do the best you got. I mean, clearly, it didn't matter. I mean, look, the first half from the second half was like night and day on both offense and defense. We were flat completely.
Well, the only reason I think we were starting to get any kind of pressure is we were actually blitzing, because we are not getting home with our front four unless it's Van Ness breaking through.
Yes, our pass rush is what they expected from the without blitzing every time is not there. There's no pressure, hardly pressure at all.
Yeah,
and that's going to be an issue. We're not going to be able to do shit.
What's up there, A-Dub?
What's up, A-Dub?
So,
and it'll get better. I think we're still better. I think we're still trending in that direction. I think it's still just time for them to learn. This is just all part of the learning curve. And hopefully the offense, I think that was a knock the rust off game, because clearly he turned around and had a career game, 389 yards, 4 touchdowns. 3 picks. That's also not good. That was, that last pick was like shades of the playoffs when he just chucked it up there in the 49er game, that you can't do that.
Yeah, that pick I hold completely against them. The first 2, yeah, you had one that was bad luck and tipped, and you threw the other one. But hey, at least at that point he was trying. Just throwing it up wasted a possession when we desperately needed it.
Yeah, especially that late in the game like that. It's just better to throw it away and just punt the ball.
Yep.
Turning it over is the worst thing you can do.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was on first or second down when he threw it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's just no matter what down it was, it's just obviously fourth down you're turning it over, but throw it away. Don't give up the interception. That just you look. First of all, you look like a schmuck throwing it like that.
Yep.
You're referring to the interceptions Jordan Love threw in that game?
Yeah, yes. The last one is what the second one was tipped around. That was a volleyball. It hit 2 guys and then it was intercepted. But
and at the time he threw it, you got to remember you had 2 different Packers in that vicinity to where it was confusing to know who was the target at the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I think it was cut off by, what was it, Kraft or Musgrave, whichever one hit it first. I think it was going to Dobbs, and they knocked the trajectory of it, and that's how it went. But
and the other one that was up for grabs that he was trying to target Dontavian Wicks, like the announcers called it right, like he was putting it up there in the hopes to say Dontavian Wicks should be good to get the 50-50 balls, but the problem was Wicks was not expecting nothing in his direction at the time.
Yeah, and he wasn't in a great position either.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, it didn't even help that we had a lot of drop balls too, and there was some unusual drops in that game
Wicks had a lot of drop balls. He ended up having 13 targets and only 6 catches. I mean,
I was going to say he was another one that was a tale of two halves. Because in the first half he was absolute trash, and the second half he looked awesome.
He was lights out,
yeah. And don't forget, even Romeo Dobbs had some unusual drops too.
Yeah, I mean, we had no answer for your guys' pass rush at all. I mean, we had no answer. Honestly, not the first half for sure.
But think about this: despite all the if there's anything to be optimistic about, it is kind of optimistic for us to feel as to how Jordan Love faced so much pressure in that game, and yet he was only sacked one time.
Yeah,
and this was despite knowing that his mobility was limited out there.
Mm-hmm.
There was just a lot of bad plays. There was just a lot of nothing plays. I mean, the pressure they were putting, it amounted to. I mean, they did their job. You can't argue with it, man. The Vikings are 4-0 for a reason. It's hard to be 4-0, just as hard as it is to be 0-4. I swear to God.
Yep. But but one's got to remember, it's too early in the season for us to be in panic mode after this kind of loss. And not to mention another thing to be considering is that look at the way our division is looking right now as opposed to everyone else. So far, nobody in this division is below 500.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Well, hey, it was talked about all off season and the beginning of the season that this might end up being the best division in football.
Yep.
Yeah. The Vikings
as
got
well as the toughest one.
Yep.
They got a good defense, and Sam Darnold's actually a quarterback. So I mean,
yeah, that's what shocked me the most because I'll be the first to admit I wrote him off in the offseason, but he looks legit after these first 4 weeks.
Viking fans wrote his ass off. They weren't even confident in what they were going to get out of him. So, I mean, look, man, it's good for them. It worked out, but sometimes, bro, you just
gotta think a change of vicinity, a change in the scheme and system you're a part of can make a major difference at times.
It is the best division in football. I agree with that 100%. Got the best talent, best defense. Come on, man. Fuck the Pittsburgh Steelers and their number one defense crap. That's the AFC.
And it still seems kind of amusing that the Steelers took their first Jason. It's still kind of amusing to me the Steelers take their first loss against a team that almost everybody in this division actually beat, being the Colts.
Yeah, well, that's what was I was saying this on the morning show. I mean, none of the key players on Pittsburgh are doing anything in fantasy league. Najee Harris or what's his name, the wide receiver,
George Pickens.
Right, yeah, Pickens or Fields. None of them are doing like massive in their groups. They're just, they're winning the game by their defense not allowing teams to score, and their offense only got to score like 15 points and they win. Well, not last week, obviously. When you run it up on them,
well,
they can't.
Hey, there's a Steelers fan I follow who always said that the Steelers live off a fluke play, off of splash plays, fluke BS, and high-end talent that wins them games.
Yeah, it sure was seeming like it last week.
Any one of the teams except the Bears could be NFC South, East, or West champs. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, though I would say the Bears might be able to contend with the NFC East.
Well,
right now you got
Washington. Speaking of the Bears, I'm sure they and their fans will say, if we win this Sunday, we better give a big thanks to them for drawing up the necessary blueprint for beating the Rams since they beat them.
I don't necessarily say we copy the Bears at all for anything. I'm sorry. I mean, we just play our way, we play our style, and I mean, what did they show how to beat the Rams? I mean, the Rams almost beat them. I mean, what? I don't know. It's not like they like mollywopped them or anything.
I was going to say,
well, when you look at the way
with how fast Matthew Stafford has been getting the ball out of his hands this season, I think the defensive game plan, since we're already not getting there anyway, drop absolutely everybody into coverage. That way you make it at least a little harder on them to try to find the holes into it. Because if we're sending blitzes with how fast he's getting that out, he might be just sending that ball over their heads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at the same time, the Rams, if I recall correctly in terms of their stats, their offense is dead last in a lot of categories. And given how banged up even their offensive line is, this is one game where I say our pass rush should be able to show up and trouble Stafford most of the game. Despite us missing Devontae Wyatt, it's always next man up. Somebody off that defense ought to step up and show up for us at the very least.
Oh, yeah, it'd be a nice game for Kenny Clark to come onto the scene because he's been a little lackluster this season.
Yep. And you think about this: we invested we pretty much took a chance as far as giving him another extension to be here. Him and Rashawn Gary both have to live up to that extension that we gave both of them.
Yep, I absolutely agree with that. And we know that how much I love Gary and all, but he's got to start making this transition from outside linebacker to defensive end. Granted, I know he's getting double and triple teamed on a lot of these plays, but he's got to find a way to win like he was an outside linebacker.
Yeah, he's got to figure it out. I mean, there's an adjustment.
The scheme that he's more accustomed to, where we was in that 3-4 as opposed to the 4-3. Gary normally had those one-on-one matchups with tackles he could easily win. Like when he was able to bring the pressure, and bring the edge rush from the outside, it was no problem for him to win most of his matchups and get to the QBs at times. Nowadays, it's just another case to where he's got to do a lot more just to get in the backfield. And I mentioned how Lucas Van Ness is more accustomed to this because of his best strength being his bull rush. Like the man can definitely overpower certain guys one-on-one, one-and-one when he gets back there. So Van Ness is not going to – so my thing is like Van Ness is not going to have no problems adjusting to the 4-3 because he's more accustomed and used to his hands in the dirt more so than our other edge rushers are.
They can't move Gary around? I mean, I would move these guys around, especially Van Ness. If he can get pressure from different spots, I mean,
that's
the reason him more valuable.
Yeah, Van Ness has that versatility that we can move him around. Like he wasn't just lined up on the outside as an edge rusher back when he was in college. They even had him lined up on the inside as a D lineman every once in a while to use his bull rush to get in the backfield. And I'm thinking we should. And I'm thinking that's what we should be doing right now with some of our edge rushers now. I mean, when we played against the Titans and got those sacks, one thing I remember is that there were plays where we had most of our edge rushers lined up on the D line and got that pressure in the backfield to get to Levis. They ran those kind of plays before.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing them try putting Gary in at defensive tackle for like third down, something like that. That way you can get him, Preston, and Van Ness on the field at the same time.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Jason. Honestly, I think
moving
agree. Around is the best course. But yeah, I don't know. I listened to Halfley talk this week. I listened to his press conference, and he he realizes there's he's still trying to figure it out himself, what the best pressures are and what the best situations are. I mean, I understand it's learning for him too. So, yep. I mean, it's only week 4.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I tell you what Jason's saying right there, this is the game where you could try it, especially when the Rams have a offensive line is banged up too, just like some of their weapons are. Like they're missing, like they definitely missing a few guys. This is a time when we can take advantage.
No Puka, no Cup. I mean, that's their 2 top wide receivers just right there alone. I mean, their run game's still potent. Like you said, their offense is beat up. Their defense is kind of, hit or miss, but
yeah, defense is in shambles too. Like Green Bay shouldn't have no problem running the football on these guys, especially when they have one of the worst run defenses in the NFL too.
Jacobs should be able to establish the run right away and just be hardcore in the first half for sure.
Speaking of Jacobs and being hardcore, we see he got another penalty for lowering his helmet on a run.
Really?
Yep. With him leading with his helmet, and I think like this is his 3rd penalty or something for it. And there's talks that the next one could possibly lead to a suspension. Now, I don't know how true that part of it is, but he's incurred a few penalties like that over his career. For some reason, he likes to use his head as a battering ram.
I mean, it ain't right to hit anybody, and you're not trying to make head-to-head contact. You know what I'm saying? That you could hurt somebody, but I mean, it's a violent sport. I don't know how you stop a running back from running head first.
That's been my gripe about it. Because as soon as you go to drop that shoulder and truck the guy, your head's right there.
Especially when it comes down to how you're trying to protect yourself against all those big guys that'll hit you when you go through them holes.
Yeah.
When you running through them holes, you're gonna take a lot of brutal hits left and right somewhere. That's the price you pay for running a football hardcore like that.
That just don't make no sense to me. How does the running back get fined for going? I mean, if he's aiming, if he like turns and aims for their head, I could see that. But I mean, I don't understand how a running back's supposed to not use his head to lead how he's running, which direction he's running. I don't understand that. To me, I
think it's more he's supposed to kind of keep his face forward as he does it.
And not put his head down when he's going to make contact and cover the ball. I mean, bro. Holy shit, I don't get it.
I mean, and you gotta think those defenders are also being taught about techniques to use to even knock the ball out.
Yeah. I just don't get that. I mean, he's already fumbled a couple times because of the way he carries the ball with that high swing. He's got that high, both times the ball's come out, he's had his elbow in the air and the ball's just in that space right there.
Yeah,
and
but then of course you got to expect the head to come down, especially when he's trying to lower that shoulder to protect himself.
Yeah. I don't know. That to me is crazy to find the running back for. I mean, how do you fucking say he's going? I don't know, man. Somebody make it make sense because I don't know. Where's JB? This is a question JB could answer. To me, it just don't make no sense. I mean, I want my running back to run violent.
Yep.
I mean, isn't that what we want? Don't we want them breaking tackles? Don't we want them taking on these guys?
Well, I think a lot of it comes from the defenders there because they were getting penalized if they were leading with their helmet on a tackle. And it was with the running back, that was really one of the last ones that they were allowing to still kind of do it. But once they started cracking down on it, you'd hear a lot of defenders make a gripe about it that, hey, we're not allowed to do it. Why are you letting these running backs do it? So I think in their mind, it's kind of in the interest of fairness.
It's definitely more to look into. All right. So what do you think about Wicks? I mean, we got to talk about it, bro. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I was all high on Wicks going in, and then he's dropping a bunch of passes already in the first 4 games. I mean,
his hands are a major issue. He's constantly he's constantly getting open, but he needs to work more on that. If he can just get his concentration and catching down, he's going to be one hell of a receiver. But that could also be why he was drafted in the 7th round.
But think about this: he's already got a high percent. He's got a high percentage. I once read, according to PFF, he had a high percentage around 82% or so when it comes to winning the routes. Like this, like the percentage of him getting separation with his route running. Like this goes back to what I said before when I mentioned that Wicks himself and Romeo Dobbs were the top route runners on the team.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely see your argument there.
Man, you just catch the ball, bro. I mean, it hit him in the hands. It's not like I could see if maybe 1 or 2 of these passes are off target, but a lot of them were not off target, and they were just drive killers, bro. Drive killers. This is why we gave them a 28-point lead, because we were dropping shit. And
he
just played very sloppy the first half. Very sloppy the first half.
Unfortunately, I think this is where it kind of shows about us not having the big name receiver, that it takes a little bit for these guys to get in sync. Because I still believe they can do it. I think it's just going to take a little bit to get there.
Yeah, and if you were to ask me who has the best chance to be our number 1 at the moment now, it's easily looking like it's Jaden Reed.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Reed's looking like one of the best damn receivers in the NFL.
And think about this. We currently lead the league when it comes to big plays made, like plays over 15 yards or so. We currently lead the league in that category.
Yeah.
Now we just need to get a little more consistent so we can capitalize on these big plays more. And stop with the damn holding penalties on the offense.
The penalties alone are just been the killer.
Oh my
Besides the drop passes, I mean, that's the other thing, is the penalties. Holy mother of God!
Speaking of that, what did you think, A-Dub, about that penalty that LaFleur got when he was trying to call a timeout and they weren't paying attention to him?
I just think like, hey, I could understand your frustration, but you still got to know how to keep your cool in that situation. Like that penalty itself could have cost us dearly at the time where we were pinned right inside the 5-yard line during a drive where we could have scored, where we was going to score. Like had he not got that penalty, it would not have been too much for us to put the ball in the end zone then. But for me, it's understandable how you can get frustrated because you're trying to call the timeout. But at the same time, you got to know how to keep your composure and keep your cool, especially pay attention to where you are on the field too, because at the time they caught him with that, he was a few yards into the football field at the time.
Oh, yeah. Shit, he was like 5 yards into it at that point.
Yeah, he went into it because the guy like totally didn't. He like looked his way and then just like blew him off. And that
I think that's what set LaFleur off. Is you can see the ref look at him and just turn away.
He was making eye contact, and the minute the ref turned his head, he leaped into the field, bro. Yeah. Yes, Jason, the penalties, the turnovers, and you, for your comment before that, where I don't know if we would have played Willis in there, I don't think we would have had a chance to come back, because I mean, had we not missed the kicks, Love brought us back, bro.
Yep.
I mean, if we didn't, Narveson didn't miss those kicks in the early part of the game, we win this game. I mean, maybe they win it. I mean, they missed a kick too. I mean, but it's a different game if those 6 points are still on the board. I mean, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And my thing is, Willis doesn't atone. Malik Willis could not count for certain plays where our defense constantly got burned for touchdowns and big plays too. Malik Willis' play alone couldn't account for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the way that Ballantyne was just getting absolutely torched in that first half.
Bro. I mean, every time I turn around, I was like, they scored again? What the hell? I mean, 28 points in the first 25 minutes of the game. I mean, talk about spotting somebody. And we almost came back.
It was just so many of our guys in the secondary got caught out of place constantly, even while we weren't getting pressure in on the QB.
I mean, this is the woes of a new defense. This is the woes of everybody learning it. I mean, that's why we had sloppy plays. We got a new DC who's still got to learn these guys too. You know, like he's admitted, he's learning something new about these guys all the time. He has, you know, he learned something good about this game. He realized that there's no quit. That's what he said. He goes, the one thing I took away from this game, he goes, you know, most teams would just give up when they're down 28-0 in the first half. I mean, these guys don't know how to quit. He goes, I will never underestimate them again or think anything. You know, he's like, you know, he goes, not that I was against them. He goes, but, you know, you just don't think that but these guys are, I mean, they could have won that game. And he knows it. You know, he realized that. They came back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely stop missing field goals, especially 37.
But,
bro, I mean, I put this on the floor. Go ahead, man. I'll make my comment after.
But yeah, like you said, as far as them not giving up, think about the men, and that's the kind of mentality you would want, especially from a group of young kids out here. Like, you got to remember, we are still the youngest team in the NFL as well, much younger than what we were last season.
I mean, it's only week 4. There's no reason to panic. We're 2-2. I mean, we were 3-6 last year and still made the playoffs. So please, people, do not panic. We're not, and I'm not saying we're even going to be like that, because we're much better than we were last year, and we're in a much better place. And Love, I think, is shaking off the rust. I think, you know, we're gonna have everything hitting on all cylinders this week. This is what do we call it? A get right game.
Yep.
The Rams are a get right game.
Yeah. With that being said, you can't overlook them either.
Yeah.
Clear as day, clear as day. Yeah, clear as day. Green Bay got their humble pie this past Sunday. Now they can move forward and start playing with a different mindset and a different concept going forward. I mean, we'll still have our share of losses every once in a while, but not enough to panic over the season.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it seems like it's been a reoccurring thing with the LaFleur teams that one game you're just going to completely not even show up to. Granted, they showed up in the second half, but that first half, they might as well have not even stepped on the field.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen the Vikings have a bad game yet, but this week's good. I mean, I'm all for it. They can have a bad game this week.
Yeah,
well, considering who they're playing against, it's possible. But let's be honest, the Jets have not had a great seat. Have not been all that great this year either.
I don't care about the Jets. Fuck the Jets. That's where ex-Packers go to die.
Well, I'm hoping we get a revival of Aaron Rodgers here for this 1 week. It helps us out a lot, but I don't have a lot of hope.
I'm hoping, bro. I'm pulling for it. Look, we're going overseas. Let's go. The fucking fields suck over there.
That would be fun. But then at the same time, who's to say we might not see a shocking upset as far as Andy Dalton getting his revenge against Chicago?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, because they put him out. He got killed when he was playing for Chicago. He left on the IR list. That's how he left Chicago. You return to beat their ass in London, or not in London, in Chicago, where we're told every day that the Bears have the current home game winning streak of 7. Ooh.
They do.
Bro, just remember this. Just last year, they were coming off a 14-game losing streak, man. Are you kidding me? Stop. Everybody's going to make a big deal about a 7-game win streak. Oh.
When it's coming off of a 14-game losing streak, I think it might be a big deal for them.
Bro, a lot of it has to do with the defense. It has nothing to do with the offense or the quarterbacks or any of that shit.
Shit. I'd be happy if our defense came to life like that.
We've had offense most of our life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Offense has been the identity of the Packers throughout their years, just like the defense. Just like defense has been the identity for the Bears throughout their existence.
Yeah.
Man, now if you only combined the two teams, you'd have something formidable.
Yeah, but that'll never happen. You can't mix.
Oh yeah,
can't mix cheese.
Don't get like I'm advocating for that. I was just saying.
You can't mix cheese with bear shit. Nothing makes bear shit good. Oh shit! All right, let's talk about Narveson. I want him cut. I just want him. Shit. What do you think, JW? You think they should cut his little ass? I think they should cut him.
Whatever it's going to take to get our kicking games fixed, either we're going to have to find ourselves a more efficient veteran who can kick field goals, or try to wait out this storm. But something's got to change.
I blame the coach. I look. I was okay with. I was good with Carlson missing extra points. That's 1. This guy missing field goals. That's 3 every game. Bro, I'm over this.
Yeah, and I would have been better off. And I would have been better off if we kept one of the veterans that was in that kicking competition during the preseason, as opposed to just going out here trying to fetch another rookie to take care of our kicking duties like we had last season.
What Joseph made all 4 of his this weekend. We had Joseph on our roster.
Oh, fuck.
He made all 4 of his. I mean, I just want him to make the kicks, bro. I mean, come on. I mean, we lost by 2 points. Any one of those kicks he could have just put in there, bro. Any one. And we could have won.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, man. It's frustrating.
What would you say if Carolina beat the Bears? There's a lot to be said if that happens.
I'm saying,
that just goes.
Be like,
that just goes to show how much more work needs to be done with the Bears now.
Well, I mean, it just depends on how they play it, how it plays out. If the Bears get behind early, I mean.
Oh yeah, if they get behind early, I think they're kind of screwed.
I mean, if they keep it close, the Bears defense
you need to remember. And you got to remember, this Carolina's offense is not that great either. But think of one's got to look at the way.
Have good pieces.
Yeah, and the way they went on to bench Bryce Young for Andy Dalton, it goes to show about, was it really the offense that was the problem, or was it the QB play alone that was holding them back? The way they benched, the way Andy Dalton came. Yeah, the way that Andy Dalton came in there and ran that offense is like, yeah, it was definitely the QB that was holding them back more so than the offense alone.
Same thing in Indy with Richardson. I mean, now Flacco's in there, and it's working. Although they are without their running back this week.
Yeah, that's always a thing. Joe Flacco, the ultimate journeyman, always seems to come in and take over a team, and eventually will help them get to the playoffs.
Man, do you remember all the talk about him being elite when he was with Baltimore, and then how all that talk died down? Well, I think that they can pick it up with that. He's an elite backup right now.
Bro, he's like the greatest backup in NFL history, I think.
I don't know if I go quite that far.
Or more.
Who's better?
Or more. Or
Maybe,
better yet,
maybe.
you can. Or better yet, you can give him the nickname of the elite journeyman.
All right, I'll give you that.
Cool with that. Because he's definitely not washed. He might not be a guy you want to build the franchise around, but he can sure save it.
I'm sure it's more than just for the fleecing of the trade. I mean, Andy Dalton was the starter when they had Fields, remember? And he got crushed by the offensive line being shit. And then he got put on the bench, and he never saw the field again because of Fields.
Shit, he's probably there in the Carolina defensive coordinator's room going, all right, you got to send absolutely everybody at this guy. This offensive line is so bad and has been for years. Oh, my God, please, please, please.
I mean, I guess
then you got to think.
I mean, right now the Bears defense is bailing him out. That's all I can say.
But you got to remember at the time that Andy Dalton was there, that Bears fan base bullied their organization to get Fields out there, believing that if Fields played now, that Bears team was gonna be a shoo-in to make the playoffs at the time.
Well, I think the whole thing was everybody knew the Bears' offensive line sucked. And the organization knew. That's why they brought Andy in, but Andy's old ass couldn't hold up to the beating. The O-line couldn't protect enough to even keep him healthy enough to make it, and they were forced to put Fields out there. They had no choice.
Matt, I wouldn't say zero. There's always a chance.
Bro. Tell me you're not putting your money now.
But while you would say they had no choice, one thing is, one's got to think maybe Matt Nagy shouldn't have put him in a position to fail. He would have kept his job.
Maybe.
Because one could say Matt Nagy was close to ruining him in the same manner he ruined Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah. I thought Mitch had a great first year, 3,200 yards. He had 25 touchdowns. I mean, he had a great first fucking season. For a rookie, that's great. You could build on that. But they didn't. They went backwards. From 12-4, they went to.
Yeah, and don't forget, Mitch Trubisky took that team to the playoffs twice.
Yeah. Bro, look, man, the Bears have a problem with developing quarterbacks. That's that's their shit. I know you do, man. I'm not. Look, bro. You do your thing, man. I'm just talking shit to you, man. I'm trolling you back, you fucker. But honestly, man, you could, Matt. I know you're a pretty straight up guy. The Bears organization does not know how to fuck. Everybody goes, "Oh, Sid Luckman." Back then, they didn't hardly throw the fucking ball. If that's your best quarterback, you guys are fucked. I mean, come on, man. You guys got to learn to develop a quarterback. You've been around long enough. You've seen what's successful. Get someone in there who knows what the fuck they're doing when it comes to taking care of the quarterback and
Mitch wasn't running QB in his tenure. You know what the problem is.
Oh, for sure, bro. For sure.
Yeah, and there, Matt, if you lose to Carolina this weekend, you're never going to hear the end of it. Like a certain bearded Packer fan hasn't heard the end of that Vikings yet.
Yeah, that still was coming back to haunt you this morning. Man said, "Hey, Ken the Viking. Packer fan." He was. Oh shit! I love Matt. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah. It's fun to sit here and bust each other's balls.
Yeah, he's a good Bear fan.
Yeah, and he's one of the Bear fans that don't live in freaking dreamland either.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. Delusionalville, like someone. We'll remain nameless. Delusionalville.
I mean, I wouldn't go quite that far, but
I would. Are you kidding me? Every fucking time we got to hear a story. Well, how do you know that that's what they're doing, bro? I mean, that's just coming from your mouth. I don't know where that delusionism. I troll you guys. Yeah,
yeah. You got that, or definitely.
Unlike most Bear fans, see, he even knows it, bro. I mean, He knows his own fan base. I'm not trying. Look, I give that. Look, man, the best games that I ever watched was in the division, bro. I mean, when we got a good rivalry and there's good football play, it hasn't been like that in a while. Ken the Vikings, man, he's never. I mean, bro, I'm telling you, he tagged me in on it. As soon as I saw him, bro, I saw him this morning. I'm like, Ken the Vikings fan. I was already giving him shit, and then Ken posted it this morning if you caught the morning show, there was a full color image of Ken the Vikings fan. And I was like, God damn it. What's up, Pam? Go Pack go.
Go Pack go.
Yeah. So let's talk about this week's game. What do you guys think? What do you think the score is going to be? What do you think? What's a bold prediction? Give me something.
Oh, since last week's game for the score prediction, I was damn near right on. I was 1 point away. So I'm going to say Green Bay 34, Rams 27.
Wow. 27. Look who's drinking the shit.
Well, I mean, I do have some downstairs. All right, what do you think there, A-Dub?
What you got, A-Dub?
I'd say Green Bay 28-17. Personally, I'm thinking the defense. I personally say the defense will finally find its groove in this game. The pass rush will finally show up. We'll continue our trend of creating turnovers like we've been doing throughout the year. And Jordan, the run game will show up for us like it has been. And Jordan Love ought to be more loose and more comfortable now after knocking the rust off in the last game. So I think this will be the game where he turn things around and be more loose and much more efficient.
Yeah,
I agree with you guys. I agree with you guys on that on the part that this is a get right game for sure. We are definitely going to get right. What's this short history repeating itself? That guy won't. 7 years. Yeah, man. It's
Caleb Williams doesn't pan out, and
I mean, they're just on a repeat cycle. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. It's just what they're doing. Ross, rinse, repeat. Finally, this is bear down. Oh, Jesus. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to Marissa. Anyway, back on the game. I agree with you guys. We're going to get right. I think the run game's going to be right from the get-go. I think Jacob's going to be a steady dose of pounding the rock. I mean, even with Emmanuel Wilson, I think he's going to be even getting in on it. I think we're going to have a solid run game across the board finally. I mean, that's the reason. I mean, gave him 28 points. We took ourselves out of the run game last week. I mean, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Our defense cannot allow them to put up points like that when the offense is struggling. So, this is it. We're going to get right. But I think we're putting up 30 points, 31-10. I don't think they're doing anything. They're going backwards. And our defense gets right, and we smash these guys. So 10 points, all they can get.
Hey, now you said something I can agree with there, Matt.
Yeah, no, he said that we're going to cover the over. Look, all that shit. He said to take the over. He said Green Bay covers. He's like, he's got all kinds of comments in there. He's reading it off his ticket he bet on.
Yeah, I like to think about wanting to speak up on what I said earlier about my thoughts on having an early bye week. And I'm thinking for Detroit, it doesn't bode well for them to have a bye this early, especially given how tough a stretch you got. Like, if the strength of the schedule after the bye week is that tough, it's going to be rough for you to go through that with an early bye.
Oh, yeah. I always hated when we got stuck with the early bye there. I would preferentially, I'd have it dead in the middle of the season. But if it's in the latter half, yeah, the first half sucks having to go all the way through, but having that rest before the playoff hunt starts is massively important. And with us having a bye week 10, I think we're set good.
And,
I mean, what's the good answer to make it fair to everybody?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, are you sure your team is built to last 13 games without getting hurt before the playoffs? Because that's what Detroit's got to go through after the bye. 13 straight games before the playoffs begin, and you might have some devastating injuries. Not to say I'm wishing it, but it's likely to happen.
Yeah. Well, my take I got from Jeremy this morning was it was just the buys coming at a good time right now because they already got a lot of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to help them get healthy for, but still, bro, this is way early. I mean, there's still over to 12 games left of the season. We're only in week
13.
5, so yeah, 16. Yeah, 13 games. Holy shit, bro. It's a lot.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be a rough stretch for them. Because I'm pretty sure, like us in the Bears, most of their divisional games are going to be in the back half there.
Yeah.
And to close out the season.
Yeah, and when you even got to think about how is the strength of the schedule looking as far as what all opponents do they got left. That's what makes it rough for them.
We know who that is, and a bunch of Karens.
Which miserable franchise has 4 total playoff wins in the last 60 years? Yet their fans are a bunch of Karens.
Yes, they are, man.
4 total playoff wins in the last 60 years.
That's the Lions,
I don't
bro.
know who.
That's all they got, bro. 4 playoff wins in 60.
That's all I can think of. Because everybody else has at least been to a Super Bowl. So that's 2 to 3 victories right there.
Yeah, they've never gotten past an NFC championship game ever. I mean, back before they had the Super Bowl, yes. But, yeah, last century, yeah, that's what I mean. The toilet. Unfortunately, even Jeremy, I mean, maybe Smoking Dad seen the last Lions championship. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That's how old you got to be. You got to be like 80 years old to have seen a Detroit
that's kind of why I was honestly, after we had got knocked out of the playoffs, kind of rooting for the Lions.
Bro, I did too. I look, that's what makes me not like them so much more this year because I got on the bandwagon last year and Danny Gamble and the fucking choking ass Lions fucked me over. That's what I get for fucking believing they could do something. Yeah. That's what slap me, man.
It's like,
hit me with that $100 stack.
Yup. It's like, hey, what you saw from Dan Campbell is a representation of the old saying, live by the sword, you die by the sword. Like the philosophy that got you there, he was gonna live and die by it, by whether it cost him or it didn't.
Yeah, that's the thing too, man. They did double their playoff wins last year. I mean, they had 2 back-to-back wins, and that's as far as it got. That century. Yeah.
No, I was going to say the Bears did have half a team in 2005, just not enough to close it out.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget we knocked them out in 2010. We put them out in the NFC Championship game. So.
Oh, that made that Super Bowl all the better.
Beating them in Chicago to go to that Super Bowl.
Especially with B.J. Raji's fat boy shuffle in the end zone.
They are the most miserable franchise in NFL history, I must say. Well, I don't know. They got 5 titles in their history.
Yeah, I was going to say they at least have something in their trophy case, unlike other teams that are in our division.
I mean, I could say the Vikings are slightly better just because they went to the Super Bowl, but when you suck ass and can't even win a Super Bowl, I mean.
All right, you ready, Tyler? Just to make sure it happens. My bold prediction is going to be that not only McKinney gets his 5th interception, but it's either a pick 6 or inside the red zone.
I like it. Never won anything.
Every time I've said it, he's got himself an interception this year. So let's keep this streak rolling.
Keep it going, bro. That's like, this is a streak I don't want to end. I want to see this motherfucker go the whole year.
All right. But
14's the record, so let's go.
Yeah, we're unfortunately at that time since Rob and I got a little distracted already.
Yeah, we're late. 4:20.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
you guys, everybody think. Oh, would you say it up?
Yeah, I'm just reading up on some of the comments here.
Yeah, he's reading
Same with the Vikings, never won anything. Last time they were there last century, 0-4. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and especially thanks for those of you that took your time to comment. You have yourselves a wonderful night, and as always, go Pack, go.
Go Pack.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.